So this is a trade review for the 16th of March 2022, and I took 4 trades. None of them worked. Um, my first trade was on Apple, which I thought was a fairly reasonable trade. I had the area of R3, and I had a doji, so it was showing selling pressure. And then I had a green candle, but it also was showing selling pressure. So I was highly confident that the stock will drop. Uh, I was a little bit in a trance at this moment because I should have waited for another minute because we were almost closing the 5 minutes. So, but if I had waited, I think I might have taken it, unless the stock pulled back strongly. Uh, but nevertheless, this is like a B plus setup, and it just didn't work. We had BWAP just below it, didn't break. So that was my first trade on Apple. I had some stacks to the downside too, and the the candles to the upside didn't have much volume to signal a break to the top side. And so that's my first trade on Apple. And as you can see, it struggled for a while. So I was still confident that it will drop below R3. But after this first trade on Apple, I switched to AMD, and AMD pulled to this area, and I was watching it closely, and I saw a double top, and one doji, another doji. So I saw that as a strong signal that, and we had this level here, this previous mark level, and the price, the whole dollar number at 113. So I was highly confident that the price will drop to R3, and then trade as an inside day, just drop all the way to S3. And I had stacks and volume, so I made my entry here. It dropped a lot right away, which was good, I guess, for my emotions. But then it pulled back to stop me out to the penny, and for my doji, and because the stock was valid, I made another the setup. I still consider the setup valid. I made another entry here, uh, and it dropped almost to my partial, just within 12 cents. I had my first partial at 112, but it didn't. So it just pushed back up and stopped me out again. Um, in in retrospect, I should have stopped after my second trade. I don't do well after just trading 2 losses in a row, so I should have known that. But I kept going because I wanted to focus on the setups themselves, and not profits, because this is simulation, by the way. So this is not real money. So I'm trying to learn to focus on the process. But so I took this other second trade that stopped me out. So that's 3 trades that didn't work in my favor. But this one to the penny, and this one just rejected R3. And then I looked at Apple, and Apple seemed very bearish. But this was more of a scalp, and I wanted it to be a continuation of R3. I saw that it struggled here, made a consolidation. I don't know if it's compression because it doesn't really have high volume. So I saw it that it had this consolidation, and that it was breaking down from the 5 minute, and the moving averages were crossing and curling down. So I made my entry with a 15 cent stop, but it didn't quite drop to my target at R3. It reversed and stopped me out again. These are Okay, trades. Mm, the problem is that my playbook consists mainly of trading the Camarilla Pivot Points, and the market was very bullish today, and perhaps the Camarilla were wider than usual, and the stocks were using R3 as a support level. So, so maybe I should have relied on my instincts and see that this was a support level rather than a resistance level. But for that, I have to trade against the logic of the Camarilla pivot points. Well, not against logic, but against the main setup. But these are the things that I have to understand and see uh, to trade off of them, because um, if I had seen that it was, if I had realized that, well, I did say that on the live trading that this was acting as a support, it could act as a support. But if I had applied that knowledge to my trading, I might have gotten in at this level. Maybe no, I don't think so. On AMD, or maybe I will have stayed away. I think the ideal thing would have been to stay away. Mm, but yeah, so sometimes they don't work. So I gotta stop at two losses next time. But I'll talk more about it on my daily review.